This sprawling white oak tree is the logo for this business in Olney, Oak Farm Brewing Company.
The historic heritage white oak. It's been here for roughly 250 to 300 years old is what we estimate.
One of Lone Oak's owners, Chris Miller, always admired the tree's stature.
The tree was just so steady. It had this strength and this resilience to it. I'd witnessed over the last 4 years massive storms come through, and I would always just watch this tree with such strength. I mean, hundreds of thousands of pounds of weight. White oak is some of the heaviest wood you can imagine, and it's spreading over hundreds of feet. The crown had a 150-foot spread, and it just stood the test of time. It would bend, but it would never break.
But then 2 Sundays ago, this tree, which bended but never broke, finally broke.
I was in bed, I live here on the farm, and my wife and I, we heard a loud bang. She hopped up and said, "I think that's the tree." And I kind of doubtingly said, "I don't think so," but sure enough, we went to the window, looked out here. The tree basically went over, and it succumbed to its injuries after the high winds. So the tree here, this is our logo, and this is an actual silhouette of the oak tree. So this branch here, this huge branch, that was about 80 feet long, just straight horizontal, defying gravity for several hundred years, is the branch that you see now. Oak is incredibly heavy, so this branch alone is probably 30, 40, 50,000 pounds outstretched that distance. I mean, a human can't even hold their arm for more than 5 or 6 minutes out. This thing had been holding this weight for hundreds of years. So it's just a testament to its strength. We had seen this coming for a few months. There had been signs that the tree was declining, that it was starting to have some structural cracks at the base. So we knew it was inevitable. Everything that's living eventually has its time. We had a chance to come out here that evening, kind of say our goodbyes, if you will.
And the community said its goodbyes also.
I don't know, it's just sad. Sad that such an old tree with so much history is down.
So many people have shared photographs, stories, poems, paintings. There's been a massive outpouring of support and just memory of the tree and what it meant to so many people. I actually got married under the tree last fall, so we're blessed to have it last as long as it did so that we could do that ceremony.
I've been here at different times of the year, you know, and of course you always have great seasonal offerings as well.
Councilmember Dawn Lukey stopped by to pay her respects to a noble symbol in her community.
Sure.
So what are your plans for the tree?
Sure, yeah, so we have a ton of plans for the tree. Both the wood itself and the living parts of the tree. So for the wood, our hope is to make benches, tables, chairs, things that people can actually see and interact with here on the property. We're also going to take some of the logs and send them off to Missouri to a place called Foeder Crafters, and they're going to make a large wooden vessel that beer ages in. So we're actually going to have the flavor of the tree in our beer. This is the mash paddle. So our mash paddle is made out of the branch of the oak tree. And every single one of our beers is stirred with this paddle. There's awesome. Folklore in the beer making world that if you have a good mash paddle, it'll pass down kind of magical beer making force. And so all the Lone Oak beers have a little bit of the Lone Oak tree in them. Also, one thing you can see, which is kind of sad, is the tree's buds. Because this tree is so large, there's so much moisture in these limbs that it's still working its way towards the buds, but the buds still think there's life to this tree, so they're giving it their best shot. They're putting out little leaves. So this is what we cut and we'll graft onto rootstock, and then they'll hopefully take and start growing into clones of the Lone Oak. It's not going to be in this massive quiet giant on the edge of our field, but it'll be in several different things throughout the property.
The next step will be a cross-section or cross-cut of the tree and determine its exact age. It was a strong, resilient tree that Chris Miller says went out in grand fashion.
It's kind of poetic because it didn't go down during a storm. It went down during a peaceful night. No one was around, nobody got hurt. So kind of, in my mind, it chose when it wanted to go on its own terms.
In Olney, I'm Springirth reporting.